why do most innovations fail? Especially when you guys have put in the hard work to vet it. You've talked to consumers, you know there's high desirability, you figured out all the feasibility issues in terms of how to manufacture it, you built a business plan that gives you a pilot and then a prototype and all the way out to a glide path to viability. Why do these fail? Okay, so let's examine a story on that. Here are 4 multi-billion-dollar industries. All right, you've got the internet, you've got the graphic user interface that turned into the operating systems, the mouse, and the personal computer. Does anybody here, I'm sure somebody knows this question, not the 300, but at least knows the answer to this question. Who created these in the 1970s? Yep, we got a hand here. Oh, of course you know, you worked there. Dave worked there. Xerox PARC, the Palo Alto Research Center, okay? They actually created all these ideas back in the 70s. But here's the catch. Why did they not commercialize them? Was it the technology? No, actually back in the 70s, the technology was actually pretty good. I mean, when you went from having to use a cursor to going into a mouse, trust me, the testing off that was off the charts. No, it wasn't the technology. And the concepts, like I said, when they tested it with consumers, all these ideas had a lot of promise, and yet they weren't commercialized. Was it money? No. I mean, Xerox had tons of money. And in fact, the PARC was probably one of the most well-funded research labs there was, maybe outside of AT&T. At the end of the day, it was this whole issue of dealing with people in the organization. So the innovation champions, basically what they ended up facing was these different walls. I call them walls, okay? So the first wall is they presented some of these ideas, and some of the business leaders that they presented to basically said, this could eat into my existing business. How am I going to replace my existing business? This seems really groundbreaking, and it could be fundamentally damaging to my business model. So they hit a wall of fear. Others, and this happens a lot, they talk to business leaders and they go, oh, that's really novel. It seems really interesting. Yeah, it's many years out, but guess what? I've got to hit the quarter. And when I look at my portfolio of activities, this seems really low on the list of things I want to do. There are things that are closer in, don't take as many resources, and quite frankly, are much less risky. So they sort of hit this wall of apathy. And lastly, I know all of you sitting in the audience, since you're in this field of innovation, you've chosen to be in this field, have probably heard this word. Hey, here's a great idea. Prove it. How many have heard the word prove it before? Yes, okay. So it's a wall of disbelief. So these are the 3 walls that a lot of innovators face when they are trying to champion great ideas. And you know what's really needed here is this idea that we all need to be innovation champions in order to get these ideas from sort of great testing and great results and great prototypes and great experiments all the way into the marketplace. And we collectively here are really responsible for that. So I want to talk a little bit about what does it take for us to be great innovation champions, okay? To get over those walls that we were just talking about. So I like to use this analogy. It takes what I consider a T leadership model. So let me explain the T. On the vertical, that's the subject matter expertise of being a great innovator. The integrative thinking, the creativity, the ability to integrate technology and consumer insights and design. All that is what I call being a great innovator. Coming up with that idea and giving people a sense that, what is it and what could it do, the benefits. The horizontal is also critically important. And this is about the ability to get other people who may not be so bought into the idea or not that close to the idea on board and aligned to the vision of what you want to do to improve consumers' lives and improve your company, okay? It's the influencing skills that are critical to both influence up and just as important, to influence across to other functions. Because at the end of the day, not only, if you think about it, the innovators here, we're usually at the very forefront of presenting an idea. And if we can do the influencing both at the beginning and throughout well, then that idea has the greatest chance of getting into the marketplace. So we have a lot of responsibility when it comes to this horizontal. The other thing that's pretty important about this, or I say it's very difficult, is it takes a lot of courage to be an innovator. Other functions They get the ideas presented to them. And then, of course, they can give feedback and critique and judge those ideas. But us as innovators in the room, what's our responsibility? We actually have to stick our neck out there and present the idea for people to criticize. And then we're supposed to take all that input and figure out a way to make the idea even better.